Hello, Average Lennox Rose Simp here, and today, we are going to do a normal rant on Chronic, not a rant house, just a normal rant because I hate people who can't understand the difference between fiction and reality in general. So where do we begin? Well, before we start this video, you may need some actual context before we dive right into the video in general. First off, who in the hell is Chronic by the way? Well, I'll tell you. Chronic is a typical text-to-speech commentator who commentates on a variety of topics, but at least the good part is that his videos are not half bad compared to someone who ranted on otherwise known as Foxy the Fox 110, which his rant on her is pretty good. Other than that, that is not why you are here today. Today, we are going to go over a couple of things of what Chronic said that really piss me the fuck off in general, starting with myself included. For starters, you may need additional context to what we are talking about. I'll start with Chronic's side since it is probably the easiest. Chronic was simply replying to Jonah Campbell's comment on his community tab, where he was explaining that fictional CP is equivalent to actual real-life CP on a post about Jonah being a total zoophile. First off, buddy, how far off are you so detached to reality? I'll explain this more once we get to my side of the story. On my reply to Chronic, I basically said that there is a major difference between actual child pornography and underage fictional characters being looted in general, and to sum it up, fictional characters are not real, and actual child pornography can scar a child for the rest of their life. You wanna know how Chronic responded? Well, the minute I seen his response to me, I about wanted to rip his head the fuck off because of what he said to my response. Chronic basically responded in the most ignorant way possible about whining on how the depiction of underage fictional characters being looted involves real-life children. You probably have 20,000 zettabytes of child pornography on your hard drive you secretly beat your shit to. All jokes aside, I don't approve of zoophilia either, and we are now going to go over short clips of another user Chronic had beef with as well. Without any further ado, let's begin.
Me and Master Dragon Samurai, and even saying that we should get fucked by a dog and a horse. Yeah, he had to say some bigoted and zoophiliac shit about us to make himself look all edgy as fuck.
I forgot to mention this, but shout out to Sonu Lianik is back for the footage. Link to the video will be in the description. This footage alone proves that Chronic is both a zoophile and a total homophobic person. Chronic, your hypocrisy towards Jonah Stephen Campbell is showing, you retarded, schizophrenic dumbass.
Then these disgusting actions, saying that she wasn't a pedophile when it was obvious that she sent porn to a 10-year-old Russian kid to frame him, who was now 12 years old. He also was trying to take personal info from Rainbow Doggy Unicorn to eventually dox her location and get her into trouble, which thankfully never happened. But if he were to dox Rainbow Doggy Unicorn and take her personal information, all hell would break loose and his career would end completely. You can tell that he wasn't actually sorry and tried to make half-ass excuses to silence me and my friends for calling him out on his bullshit.
First off, he falsely accused a 12-year-old of being a pedophile. This has got to be one of the most bullshit points that Chronic, or as I should say, Chronically LMFO, has ever made in general. Second off, thankfully he didn't dox someone, but I also would not be surprised if Chronic did dox someone considering he has a hate boner for people who can clearly tell the difference between fiction being fiction and reality being reality. But why did he try and made a half-assed attempt to fish someone out for some personal info for a dox? That just seems fishy within itself. Thank goodness that literally never happened, but it is still pretty fucked up in general.
He sent death threats to people that he hates, like threatening to kill a furry as an example. Not only that, but he tried to throw the trolling card as an excuse to avoid backlash and deflect my criticism.
So he is ignorant as fuck and is oblivious to criticism too? Seems like this guy is just as bad as Foxy the Fox 110 and Emoji Marbles when it comes to handling criticism, but can give criticism well? Seems like to me that this is another Emoji Marbles clone, with the schizophrenia of GPS Everywhere, which was formerly known as Green Pingus Steam 2009 that we clearly know him as. Chronic. Giving death threats to people under any circumstance is wrong on so many levels, and you need to learn and take in criticism, even if said criticism is harsh too. If you proceed to apologize, your apology will be unacceptable since it has been proven that you will break the trust, and if you do apologize, you must be willing to stay true to your apology, even if that means people losing respect for you for not willing to accept your apology too.
I called him out on his bullshit a few times before, but he still made half-ass excuses to deflect my criticism and get away with it. Rainbow Doggy Unicorn and the two called him out on his shitty actions and even tried to deny it like a narcissist. He brought politics into the discussion that we made, which had nothing to do with it, so he can try to make himself smarter than I am to inflate his own ego. I even told him that he's one of the Go kids who say stupid shit and he still denies it. Which further proves my point. He even defended the word criminal supporter, saying it was phrased, but I wasn't buying that excuse and I called him out for it. I don't know what to say about him, but at this point, he's trying way too hard to be all tough and edgy, but whenever he gets called out for this horrible actions, he'll make excuses to deflect the criticism. And he's nothing more than just being a narcissistic, egotistical asshole. Like, holy shit, this guy never learns when to take any of the L's that he made on YouTube community posts. Overall, this guy has to be one of the most awful and egotistical pricks in the Go animate community. He did have some good points on some of his videos, but all of his other points are god-awful to sit through.
The fact that he dodges, silences, and suppresses criticism by making excuses is bullshit enough, and this is true with me calling him out over the fact that I simply said that child pornography is infinitely worse than looting a fictional underage character, and he deflected that point by saying that it was equal to child pornography. So according to Chronically Ill, pedophilia is one anime girl, and it shows on how loony this guy really is. In conclusion, Chronic is very schizophrenic, cannot determine the difference between fiction and reality, cannot handle hate or criticism, and falsely accused me of being a pedophile despite that I am against pedophilia in general because, you know, it is fucking illegal around the entire world. This is Omega, who can determine the difference between fiction being fiction and reality being reality. Signing off. Peace, bitches.